Okay, thank you very much. First of all, I want to thank all of you panelists who are here. Mohammed Karadag, thank you very much for your kind words and your support. Steve, it's always a pleasure to see you and meet with you. Brother Mori Salakan, always there. Someone I can always count on, and I'm sure Afiya has a brother there who is always there for her, even if it's for protest or if it's to raise a voice for anyone, anywhere that he feels has been, there's been an injustice anywhere. Brother Mori Salakan is there to raise their voice. And Sister Munawar, it was a pleasure when I met you in Turkey. And it is always a pleasure to see you and all of you, Brother Hussein and Brother Adel and Huda Par especially. We're extremely grateful. And inshallah ta'ala, I hope that our Turkish brothers and sisters will join us in raising the voice for Afiya and help us make this movement of ours into a global movement that can raise the conscience and probably wake the conscience of people who are in power and who have the power to do something. We don't know where and how far our voice can go. The more we echo it, the more helpful and the louder it will become. And hopefully it will reach someone who can make a difference. And I would just like to say a few things that I am concerned about. March 2021 is going to be 18 years that Afiya has been away from her family. She's been locked up with no contact whatsoever. For the past, this March will become for the past 5 years. Nobody in Afiya's family has even heard her voice. No phone call, no communication, nothing. We are told, and whatever people tell us, and what we hear from prisoners who have either been released or who are able to contact their families who are in the same prison as Afiya, that after the COVID, the conditions have become very, very dire. 72 prisoners in FMC Carswell have sued the authorities because they were treated, as they said, quote, worse than dogs. They said they were locked up in a gym in isolation, as if everybody was positive. And they were just thrown sandwiches and bottles of water and let out only for 1 hour to use the bathroom or go wherever. For 23 hours out of 24, locked up due to COVID. And then after that, this cold freeze ray that came all over Texas. It affected everybody, the rich and the poor. A lot of people died. The prison is people who had the best of heatings and who had the best of plumbings and everything, even their pipes had burst. So imagine what would have happened in the prison. Some of the prisoners who were there and they managed to contact their family, they said it is as if they are sitting in an icy grave, waiting for death. That is how horrible the condition was over there. Yet, we as a nation as a whole, and as human beings, don't speak for these people. We felt bad for those who were in their houses, who had blankets to cover themselves up, who had family to cuddle up and get warmth. We all raised our voices for them and sent our sympathies, but we never thought of these people who were locked up in a cemented room with iron bars, freezing, waiting a cold and painful death. We never thought of this. This is not just about my sister. This is about all the people who have been suffering like this. What has happened to us as human beings? Why do we not feel that pain as if it were our own? What has happened to us as Muslims, who for us we should all be a part of one body? If this hand hurts, the other feels it as well. But everywhere we look around, we see brothers and sisters, we see human beings in pain. Yet, the most that we think that we have done, and oh my God, we have done a great service, is probably we have clicked like on Facebook, or maybe we shared it. That was great if we shared it. But if we just put a heart sign on that, then we feel that we have done our part. But is that really enough? So my question, and so this March is going to be 18 years for Afiye. Afiye is like, the linchpin that you can say. She's like the poster child for all those people who are suffering during the war on terror, for all those who have been renditioned, who have been illegally detained, who have been persecuted falsely, or who have been victims of sting operations, and then who were victimized for just being a Muslim or just being colored in a white nation, and the other way around. But this March, coming back to Afiye, since this program is about Afiye, 2nd March is Afiye's birthday. March 2, Afiye was born. This will be her 49th birthday. Imagine, from the age of 31, a young age of 31, just when she was about to bring about the changes, her dream of an educational system, she gets locked up. And now she will be 49 years old. Her children, who were babies, are now grown up. 2nd March. 8th March, March 8. March 8 is International Women's Day. The United Nations says that every woman has a right to existence. Every woman has a right to being treated justly and fairly. And no mother should be incarcerated unless it is a crime that is so violent and so dangerous. So all of these things, the United Nations says, why do they not apply to Afiye? Is she not a woman? Is she not a mother? Has she killed anyone? Has she hurt anyone? No. Then why does she have to remain locked up for a crime she never committed? Just because of the ego of her captors? Or the ego of the two countries, one that renditioned her, that sold her, and the other that's keeping her captive? And then for Pakistanis who may be listening, 23rd March is Pakistan Day. The day when Pakistan, the dream of Pakistan actually came into being. When they were told that they would have a land of their own, where their daughters could be educated and their daughters could go to school. Their daughters would be safe and would not have to worry about their dignity or honor being shredded. We need to remind our Pakistani brothers and sisters the meaning of Pakistan. And then 31st March is the Black Day that Afiye was kidnapped from Pakistan and sold to secret prisons and everything else that you have heard. So these are the few dates that we need your help in raising voice, and we hope that this March we are able to raise a voice that will internationally go and that will resonate with those in power and the power corridors. And we hope that with your help and with all of you who are listening and all of you who have attended, for whom I'm very grateful that you are spending this time, that you will please help us and join us in our movement in raising this voice and in trying to bring justice, not just to Afiya, because I believe that once we manage to get Afiya out, we will be able to help. And, you know, it's like that little thread that you pull, you know, if you get the right edge and you just pull and it rips off everything and it undoes all the entire stitching. And if you don't get it right, you just keep tangling and tangling it. So I think Afiya's release is exactly just like that. Once we get that, we'll be able to help a lot of other people as well. And you've heard Steve. You will be hearing a lot, Brother Maury as well, who attended Afiya's trial. And we will be hearing our other Turkish brothers, Turkey and Pakistan. I just want to end right here with Turkey and Pakistan and our family. My family, my mother's family, come from a Turkish background. My mother's great-great-grandfather was Salimuddin Chishti, rahmatullah alayh, who had migrated and goes all the way back to Hazrat Umar Farooq. My mother is Farooqi. We are Sıddıki. So from father's side. So they go all the way to Hazrat Abu Bakr, to Hazrat Umar Farooq, radiyallahu anhu. And from there, they migrated and they came to Turkey. And they stayed in Turkey till the Khilafat. And then at that time, they migrated to India. And they stayed and they were there. And from there, we came to Pakistan. And not just that, my mother's great-great-grandfather, Munawwar Hassan Farooqi, he sold his land, Munawwarpur, in India, a part of that, to start the Khilafat movement with Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali, Johar, with the Johar brothers for the Khilafat movement. The history goes deep, and our roots are in Turkey. And we hope that our Turkish brothers and sisters will join us in trying to release Afiya. Jazakallahu khair. Thank you very much.